Okay, class, you know the drill, so I'm going to do the quick run through here. You can pause, you can rewind, I'll explain at points, but not maybe every single problem. So going through here at the start, we're just simplifying, right? We're getting like terms combined. So -8 plus -22 gives us a -30. You could use a calculator, okay, whatever you need to do. So 6 minus -2 gives us 8. Here we have 3 times 8 gives us 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. If we take into account those negatives, we'll get a -12. Order of operations, you can go through and you can do all the steps for order of operations. Remember, if you're putting it in your calculator, you have to put the whole thing in exactly how you see it. Okay, so make sure you're getting that whole entire list in just as you see it. Okay, and combining like terms, -10z. If we distribute, that will give us a 3x plus 12 minus 2x, and then we'll combine like terms. So we'll get a 1x plus 12. -22 divided by -11. 2 negatives make a positive. Number 8, if we distribute, we'll get a 10x minus 20. Sorry, I'm going to move my paper there. So then we'll have plus x minus 9. Again, combining like terms, 10x plus x gives us an 11x. -2 minus 9 gives us a -11. If you forget how to put fractions in your calculator, again, you could do it by hand, but it's 2abc5 plus 1abc3, which gives us 11/15. Okay, so we'll do 1abc1, abc5 divided by 2abc3. So we'll get 1 4/5. If you don't see 1 4/5 in the multiple choice, right, you could do second ABC and change its formatting, or second PRB and change its formatting like that. 12.4 minus -19.1. Subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding, or you could use it in your calculator and we get a 31.5. Sorry guys, this is a multiplication symbol. Our formatting wasn't working correctly and was oddly printing telephones once, so we switched it on here and I just haven't switched it back. So here we get 8. Again, just distributing, that will be a -4x plus 32. Nothing to solve because there's no equal sign. So here we'll get -1 1/3. Multiple choice, you just have to find the correct format. So 18, if we solve, we'll subtract 24. Get -32. Undo subtraction first. Okay, then we'll divide by 1/3. So we'll get x equals 15. Remember, dividing by 1/3 is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. For 21, do addition and subtraction. So -12 equals 3x. X equals -4. 21 we will multiply. Variables are on opposite sides, so we'll get them together with the opposite sign. I'll do multiplication with division, so we'll get x equals 2. Again, variables are on opposite sides, so we use the opposite sign to get them together. So you could have 9/8, you could have 1 1/8. Again, you just have to find the right option, multiple choice. We're dividing by negative, so when we divide by negative, we have to flip the inequality sign. So we should have w is less than or equal to -3. X is less than -7. Again, we divided by a negative there. So variables are on opposite sides, so I'm going to use the opposite sign to get them together. And If I rewrite with the variable first, I'll get w is greater than or equal to 13, because when I rewrite with the variable first, that's a reason to flip the sign. Here I'm going to cover up here, and whatever I do on each side here, I also have to do over here. So we'll have -2 is less than x, which is less than 6. We want to graph on 27, right? We want 4 to be in the middle. We want that to be an open circle and shaded to the right. For solving for y, we're just going to add the 2x over. Again, in multiple choice, you'd have to find the correct equivalent format, but typically we write that with the y first. Y is equal to -2x plus 5. Number 30, the sum tells us to add, of a number, so I'm going to use x and 15, is -80. It asked me to solve, so I am going to finish solving this because it's saying find the number. So I'll get -95. Number 31, though, just asks us to write the inequality. So a number decreased by 4 is at most means less than or equal to 10. Number 32 says the length of one side of a rectangle is 12 centimeters. The area is 72, right? So we know length times width equals area. So we have 12 times something equals 72. So we'll just take that 72 divided by 12. Again, whether you do it in a calculator or whatever, and our label is going to be centimeters. So our missing side is going to be 6 centimeters. Should be able to plot points. So 0, -3 is here. 1, 7 is here. Number 34, 1, 7 is in quadrant 1. Remember, our quadrants are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is going to be in quadrant 1, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Domain is our x values. So if we are listing our x values, we're going to list them in numerical order with no repeats and braces. So I'm only listing my x values, none of my y's. So -5, 2, 6, and 10. Okay, then is that a relation? Is it a function? Yes, because there was no repeats in the x value. 38, if I'm going to be listing this as ordered pairs, see, I'd have 0 goes to 1. Sorry, that arrow's not very clear, but -2 goes to 8, -2 goes to 1, and 8 goes to 4. Inverse tells us to flip the x and the y. So I'd say 6, 4, -1, 2, 9, 4, and -8, 1. Find f of 2. I'm going to plug 2 in for x. So I'd say f of 2 equals 10. If it wants me to find g of a, I'm going to do that exact same process. I'm going to plug a in for x. So I'll say a minus 10. I can't simplify anything there. So g of a is just a minus 10. Nothing else I can do. 42, is it a function? So remember, I'm looking at vertical lines. No vertical line is going to touch the graph twice, so I would say yes, it is a function. 43 is looking for an ordered pair that is a solution, so this is where I want to plug in that x and y value and see what gives me a true statement. So if I say 2 times 1 minus -8, that one right there gives me a true statement. Now, if I keep checking, though, just to make sure, right, if I do 2 times 4, that gives me 6, which is not 10, so that one would not be 1. This would be 20 minus 1, which would not be 10. 2 times -8 is -16 minus 0. That would not be it either. Finding slope between 2 points, right, we're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 2 negatives make a positive. 0 on top is no slope or 0 slope. Slope and y-intercept. So here our m is 2, our b is -8. Here we would need to solve for y to do that. So I'm going to reduce. So my m is 3/2, my b is -2. Writing equations of lines. Just plugging into y equals mx plus b. Could say a +0 there, but you don't need it. Finding x and y intercepts is where we cover up and divide, right? We're really plugging in 0. I'm really saying 2 times 0, so that goes away. So my x-intercept would equal 2. My y-intercept would be -4. Here my x-intercept will be 2. Hope that we actually get the same answer there. The graph of x equals 8 is a vertical line. X equals lines are vertical, y equals lines are horizontal. Okay, so point slope form, I have a point and a slope, so I'll say y minus 7 equals -1/2 times x minus 4. This marker's dying. We always solve. So say y equals -1/2 x plus 9. This is a system we can sort of imagine, right? If they were stacked, you would go with the substitution route probably. Okay, once we get that, then we'll plug it back in to find the other one. So y is going to equal 2 times -3, which is -6. So we'll have -3, -6. And if I change this to be stacked, I can add straight down because these are already matching and one's the opposite sign. So x equals 4. If I plug that 4 back in, so we'll get 4, 0. 56, the ordered pair 1.3, 2.5. So a little bit more than 1, 2.5 is the solution of which two lines. So let's see, that's line A and line C. Line B and A. So if I look at line B is here. Line A is here. Okay, how many solutions do they have? They are intersecting lines, so they have one solution. Which pair of lines is represented by? So we might want to solve for y. We could try and graph in standard form, whichever you sort of prefer. So let's see, down 4, up 2/1. So this is line D. So 2x plus 0, so starting there and up 2/1, so that's going to be line C, so D and C. Okay, so if I want to solve the following, I'm going to undo this. Absolute value, I'm then going to do both options. Right, I undo absolute value bars by one positive and one negative. So I have two answers, 6 and -14. We'll undo outside of the absolute value bars first. So this is multiplication. I'll undo multiplication with division. Then again, we'll do both options. Now, normally we go to two options here, but the absolute value of something can never be negative. So this one is a no solution. $64, our domain. Domain is X values. Those numbers didn't print super well, but those are 5s on there. Sorry, guys. This is a 5. This is a -5. So our X values is what we are in between. On the X, right, we're this area in between. So we would say our domain is in between -5 and 5. 65, C equals 3F plus 8 represents how much it costs per flower at the flower shop, where C is the total cost and F is the number of flowers. How much would it cost for 17 flowers? So we could just plug in 17. So it would cost $59 for 17 flowers. Okay, so here's all the answers. Feel free to rewind. You can add anything absolutely that you want to add to your answer or to your reference sheet. So if there's any problems that you feel like you weren't sure on, I would make sure you're getting clarification and then adding anything that you want and or need to your reference sheet.